All right, all right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to the final happy hour show of 2021.
Woo!
We have
We need a little
Not
more
really
energy up in here. Welcome
What's
to
up,
the
guys?
K4
final
Crypto, K4KCrypto, and Hexy Bastard, man, you're about ready to celebrate in just a couple hours, right?
Yeah. Just less than 2 hours till we kiss goodbye to 21.
Nice.
And you're here?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I know
Thank you.
You're welcome. I cancelled really important plans to be here.
I bet.
So, yeah, I guess no shortage of things to talk about. So we got this PulseX Sac going on, and we have a nice little leaderboard, and somebody is at the top there with I think 15 million.
Somebody.
Someone's gonna top that.
So
Hey, according to Rackham, evidently he's coming over the top, but we shall see.
yes,
Do we know his address already on the leaderboard, or he's gonna come in with new money?
He says he says he hasn't sacked yet.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So we're waiting.
He's definitely gonna buy Hex then before he does it.
Is he though? Or maybe he has stables already. Who knows?
No, but you just turn the stables into Hex, and it will move the price up a lot. And you sacrifice. But you'd have to be able to hold it there for at least 30
Possibly.
months.
Did you guys see last night there was a large whale with over 100 million hex that started to sell the shit out of the price? So we ended up had a little emergency meeting and we ended up sacking most of our stuff for this sack phase.
yeah, I thought that was a good move. And then I think what's weird is like the timing of it is like the end of the year, so you have like tax implications and stuff like that, and we all know like what happened last year with we had like this huge wick up like right at the turnover, and then it came back down. So yeah, it was pretty wild.
Is Cabana breaking up a little bit, or is that me?
I thought that was me who was.
Okay. Just making sure.
I'm like, what is going on?
See that? It's like
Like,
the speed of light for a minute there. Like,
Yeah, did you hear anything I said?
your audio was perfect, but your face was frozen, and then
Yeah.
Your face was frozen and
I wasn't sure
audio
who
was breaking up a little bit
talking
for
at
me.
First, like, I had to really look at like.
I thought I had some other audio on or something. I was like, who's?
Yeah, I did
Who
too.
is
I
that?
thought I had playback. I was like, what the fuck?
All right, well, here, let me see if I can fix something real quick.
Well, you were all good now. It's just.
Oh, I like that photo. That's cool.
Running a professional stream as always, like we like to do.
Is this considered a professional stream?
Yeah, this is about as good as we get.
Did you and who started this happy hour? Was it you and Cabana and Hexy
So is
Bastard,
it-
or
It was
no,
actually
it was-
Cabana and Vince
okay.
back in the day, and then it turned into Big K and I joined the show, and then the four of us pretty much did it for over a year. We just had like our 1 year anniversary, and we just have new guests come on and hang out, drink, and what's our slogan, Cabana? What's our happy hour slogan?
Informal but informative.
Informal but informative. Sums it up pretty well.
So
That's
we
not
have
bad.
our normal crew, and then we bring on guys like K4K, and we balance things out a little bit. So
Right.
we have-
Bring a
yeah,
bit of
the,
knowledge
the
to
technical knowledge, and then the fun stuff as well.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah,
I think
so
the stuff I talk about is pretty fun.
I enjoy it actually. So yeah, let's get into that. So you're probably one of my favorite new channels, man. Just can you give us some background on like kind of like where you came from? Because you come kind of like out of nowhere, and now you got thousands of subs, and I
don't
love
know,
your
man.
content, man. I mean, it's like it's just in depth, and it's explanatory. It's easy for say I don't want to say a noob to understand, but somebody who has at least some crypto knowledge, to understand. So tell us how you got started, I guess, real quick.
Well, for making videos, I wanted to just start being a part of the community and giving back some knowledge that I had. And I figured a lot of people were thinking this stuff, but no one ever made the videos about, explaining why some of these mechanics worked. And I was like, well, I'll give my ideas about it. And everyone thinks it's the next best thing to understand the stuff at a deeper level. But I really enjoy going into the game theory that Richard comes up with, and why did he pick this, and this is why, and then you can understand more what you're investing in, why it does have a great potential. It makes you feel more comfortable.
I saw a lot of your input in the Pulse Plan chat. I thought it was really good and really insightful. Enjoyed watched the back and forth there for a while.
Yeah, Richard he said he came up with that 0.29% fee idea at the same time I did. I posted in chat. He's like, "Hey, I just came up with that at the same time." I was like,
that always makes you feel good.
I was like, "Let's go." That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just trying to make everything better at a slight metric better than everything else that exists right now.
And that was a cool thing, though, I thought, is like, you had the chart there of different platforms, and PulseX is just like a little better on pretty much everything. I was like, man, bravo.
Yeah. There's so many good things about PulseChain and PulseX that the list just goes and goes.
As soon as we got the tokenomics on PulseX, I got so much more bullish. Like at first I was like, okay, whatever. And then we went back to the 2LP token system, and then I was like, okay, now I'm much more excited about PulseX than what I was before, because it's not your standard just LP token anymore.
Yeah, it's not
your LP token at all. Yeah.
And the ones that were inflationary on some of these other chains, they
still
destroyed, wrecked everything else.
What makes you think I'm going to collect that too when it comes out, whatever its name is going to be, the Burr token, or who knows what they call it?
Cell token.
Yeah, why won't it pump, People think just because it doesn't have a crazy use case right now doesn't mean it can't be developed for in the future. It could potentially have revenue share in the future. That's why people hold Uni token. Because they can turn that switch on, and then Uni holders get a % of the trading fees.
Yeah.
Why can't you do that with this Burr token?
Richard did that, and then he's going to turn it into an automatic buyback and burn. Like that's so bullish for the price of PulseX. If you think PulseChain is going to do well, like that just means incredibly bullish things for PulseX. Like to me, PulseX token is the heart of PulseChain now, because the better PulseChain does, the better PulseX does. The more buy pressure you have for PulseX.
Yep. If you bet against PulseX, you're betting against PulseChain, the whole ecosystem failing. So if you don't believe in that, then what are you even doing here?
In the first place, right?
Yeah, you don't think we're going to have high volume, you don't think people are going to value PRC20s, then PulseX won't do so hot. But I do think people are going to value the thing that is cheaper to transact on, same ticker. You can get free yield by pairing your PRC20 with the ERC20, and then you just get this other token on the best exchange.
Never been done before, but man, it's gonna be massive, because people love their free money in the space, and this is about as free money as it gets. The other side of your LP is provided for you for free, and you get this new token, and it's just everything just screams bullishness.
So what are we thinking for timeline? Because I know the SAC phase goes on, I think, until
47 days,
late February. But I mean, are we really gonna see PulseChain in March? I was watching the OG Discourse Syndicate stream right before we got on, and Hexo he's like leaning like June. I think he's kind of serious about that with what has to still occur. But we're going to see it that late, or you think we could still see it in like a March or something like that? Which, by the way, was my original prediction.
Wow. Yeah, I am surprised it pushed back so far already. But once you look into what they're figuring out, you're like, yeah, you do need just really smart guys working on this. And if it's hard for them, we're doomed, the rest of us, So,
and there's only so many of those guys out there. And I'm pretty sure Richard has them in his war chest. Like, very few of them exist.
Right.
And he's talked about that. Like, regular devs look down on crypto devs. Like, there's so few devs that in the space that are that great. And it was funny because the group of guys that I have, we're starting to build our own stuff. So we're getting into the world of like working with devs and learning kind of how like devs work and the language they speak. And we brought like Dev Kyle in one time to help us essentially help our devs understand what we were trying to do. And within the first like 5 or 10 minutes, I instantly could tell. It's like, oh, Dev Kyle is just leagues beyond even what our like, and our devs were good, like very good, solid dev team. And I was just like, oh, he was just like everything was just going over their head. I was just like, oh man, like Kyle's just it just makes you appreciate him that much more. It's like this guy's in another league unto himself.
A question in chat here. I'm hearing a lot of FUD about the large supply of PulseX because there's so much money being sacrificed. They say price can't go up as much. Y'all got comments for these negative Nancys?
Don't buy it. It's an awful token. It's gonna be poorly.
Got that Trayvon theory. Yeah, don't tell anybody about it. I want to.
It's so easy to spread misinformation. It's like 10x easier than figuring out the truth and then spreading that. Because you have to outmarket all the people who didn't do any research and just spread what they thought of in 3 seconds. Like people saying stuff like that. Because it kind of makes sense on the surface, but if you look at it at all,
the very surface.
Oh, it's very important that a lot of people know about it early. That's the network effect that can spread it to 1000x more people faster. So
what Richard has essentially figured out is how to game this whole system of market cap, right? Like he's figured out how to game these coin distributions where we have an absolutely massive supply, but there is centralized economic mass, right? Like the OA is able to do this in each project, but then you go through and look and like none of these coins have ever sold. HEX is a perfect model of how you get something that appreciates faster than anything else on the entire planet Earth. Like it was the fastest appreciating asset in 2020 and of all time. And we just continue to repeat that model for each token. We're going to essentially repeat that same model with PulseChain, same model with PulseX. Like there is going to be a massive supply. Most of that's going to be centrally owned. And that central ownership, at least from what we've seen in the past, no expectations of the future, seems to have never wanted to sell a single coin. So I'd rather the coins be in their hand, give us a massive supply, and the coins that I actually have possession of become that much more valuable and rare. And we just happen to have the probably top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tokens in all of crypto. Like it's beautiful.
Better a whale you know than a whale you don't.
Exactly.
Having the coins, because they're going to do what they've been doing is what's best for everyone.
Yep.
And themselves. It helps them too. And they can discourage smaller whales, like the OA can, from trying to do too much crazy price action suppression, because the OA they have such a bigger bag, it's price positive, it's ROE positive for them to buy it up, and then that whale has to buy higher if he ever wants to get his supply back.
Yeah, it's laughable ever trying to compete against the OA.
You can't.
You can't. It's just not possible. I don't care if you're Rackham, Godwell, like you just don't get enough firepower.
ETH 2.0 pushed back to June, haha. So there has to be pressure for PulseChain to beat the date, maybe March, April.
Right, we do not want to get beat by 2.0, because obviously it's better to beat your competition to market. That's why we're doing it. Because it's smart.
Bitcoin's proved that.
Yeah. And
what if it launches and it's not that good, and then PulseChain comes along? Like, what would happen then?
I think it's better to be first.
Yeah,
I'd rather just be first, honestly.
I would rather be first, but I'm just saying, like,
rather be first than they count on bugs of 2.0, which there's a very good chance there could be. But yeah,
true,
I'd just rather be first to market.
Their code is just riskier.
Yeah. Mainly because they're just up and running and they have a lot to make sure that everything runs smoothly as they try to add these updates. But we have the advantage of coming on, like essentially birthing a new chain from this fork, and to do it right from the start. And Richard always takes everything he's learned in the past and applies it to these new future projects, and he's usually quite brilliant with all the moves he's made. I think it's quite clear at this point.
True, because he didn't do the AA lobby for these things. He did this new idea, which I'm guessing is just a better system.
Someone was telling me today, I forgot what we were talking about, but they were essentially asking they're talking about him like launching a coin a different way or something like that. I was like, honestly, he's found a way that really works with getting essentially the maximum participation, the maximum volume, the maximum amount of money sacrificed for these coins. He's found a way to skirt around this security, so it's not an ICO. Like he's figured out this brilliant way of sacrificing. We have freedom of speech, we have freedom of assembly. Like these token launches are brilliant, and no one else in the industry has come up with something like this, where it helps you skirt the regulations that have messed up all these coins in the past, and it gets the maximum participation out of the ecosystem, and it eats up the supply of our favorite token, good old HEX. So
that's actually
it's
pretty
amazing.
cool, though. Like the majority of the sacrificing it's hexagons. If you hold HEX, you're hexagon. Most people who don't know about HEX, they didn't buy HEX to sacrifice it, in my opinion. So most of the people buying this new coin also plan to hold it probably around 15 years, like they do with their HEX. So you're making this player base, I guess you can call it, who just are people who are strong holders. So that just means they're less likely to sell it until they're getting some insane ROI, which means the price has to go way high for you to get any reasonable amount of it.
And the beautiful thing about that is, even once you realize that high ROI, because over the past 2 years we've only had the one asset, HEX, to deal with. Now you're looking at 5 different coins, and it just all feeds back into itself, right? Like if something's out pumping while something else is experiencing a dip, it's like you said, it's mainly hexagons that are the richest, largest players in this ecosystem. You don't think it's going to funnel back into one of those other asset classes? Like it's just a self-feeding mechanism that Richard's created with this vertically, and we've been talking about this for years, just having this vertically integrated ecosystem that Richard's been striving for.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The thing that made me, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, mate, but the thing that made me particularly bullish on PulseX, because I was like you, Motley, where I don't really care too much about liquidity farming and stuff like that, but the thing that made me bullish about it is that Pulse is going to be so high throughput, and bots just generally take advantage of that anyway. If there's space going and they can trade on it and do arbitrage or whatever, they're going to be constantly trading. So by holding that, you're going to be paid, and it's deflationary. It's just like, it's such a fucking no-brainer, man. Like when I understood all of that and how many transactions potentially could be going through on PulseChain every day, it's just, oh god, it's insane. So yeah, that made me bullish on it. I was going to get some anyway, but it made me more bullish on it when he explained it.
I mean, at this point, if you're in this space, even in crypto in general, and you're not paying attention to Richard Hart products, like, you're fucked up. Because he's doing it right. He knows what works. In my eyes, he's got both components. He's got the business savvy side, and he has the ability to at least be just enough dangerous when it comes to the actual development side as well. And those two things make him a great, essentially, manager for this team and these products that he's coming out with. And I mean, you blink and Richard's going to take over this whole damn space. Like, he's going to make crypto what it was supposed to be from the start, what Satoshi envisioned Bitcoin to be, essentially.
I can't wait for his privacy coin.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be awesome.
Privacy coins did not do well this cycle. I think they'll do well next cycle once government starts to get a little bit more involved.
Yeah, but I'm surprised they didn't do well, really, considering.
Yeah, the cycle they did not do well at all. So it might be next cycle we see privacy coins come out of nowhere.
Yeah, until people's doors start getting kicked down because of what you did on chain, nobody cares about privacy. It's all about ROI and building yield up. So unless a privacy coin incorporates high yield comparable to everything else, that's how you onboard people to privacy, is you make it profitable. You're making the best yield. So why wouldn't you get, and then you just get privacy on as a benefit.
That's the one thing
people... He's
going
to fork Tornado Cash or something like that, right?
He already has Hexnado, but
Hexnado,
I'm not. You still have the anonymity set problem where
you have the anonymity set problem, and you have the gas fee problem. So it's just like between those two things, doesn't get used much. Maybe on PulseChain we'll see more activity out of it. We'll see.
That's true. That'd be cool on PulseChain.
Is Tornado Cash just going to work as it is on PulseChain, or do they have to do something to make it work?
It only works with ETH and USDC or something, right? So
they'll probably have to do some tweaks to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
About that.
Well, while we just have a quick break in the action, I did want to get this guy on because there's a very important event coming up next week.
Ooh, hey.
There he is.
What's up, Matty?
Hey,
What's going on, Matty?
How's it going? I'm loving your guys' commentary on PulseX. I think HEX monetizes the time value of money, and PulseX monetizes being an exchange owner that can charge fair fees and have that buy and burn function. And so that's why I'm so bullish on PulseX.
Without a person involved, right? It's just code too. That's the beautiful thing. Like PancakeSwap, some of these other platforms have it, but this Richard made it pretty clear that he's going to make it just automated code feature.
I may have misspoke when I said that, because I think that I've gotten feedback from at least people who are in the chat on my stream, and they said that maybe that won't be ready to go at launch.
Yeah, it won't be at launch.
Automated part, but that it'll still work better than any other system that exists. And because we do have the architecture for that type of a public function to be run, there's a little bit more game theory that has to get worked out. Especially I think because, and I haven't necessarily heard this before, but also because of like, what if it forks? Then how does that get handled? Maybe one of you can explain how that would work.
So K4K, you said that it's not going to be automated at launch?
No,
I missed that.
He said it in the Pulse Plan chat that it's because of a routing issue, since it's not done on chain, it's done off chain, and so people can do evil routes that make it so that buyback and burn would actually just get front run every time, and so it'd be zero buy pressure if they make it route through bad stuff that pays their bot for doing it instead.
Okay, interesting.
They'll just sandwich attack everything.
Right.
But if you make it admin key, unfortunately, but it works for PancakeSwap. They've been doing it for a year and a half. It's just that if we can,
I didn't think about that attack vector. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we can iterate in the future to just update it, and we can make it admin keyless. But to get minimum viable project out, we gotta launch. You know.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for the update.
I did want to bring this comment up from Allin. So it felt so good to sack. Wicked excited. Did I hear RH might allow staking of PulseX on top of liquidity providing? He's like, at least I can understand, kind of like mulling this around, because you can do it. I think it was like the syrup pool with PancakeSwap. So it's like, okay, I don't think that he actually thought about doing that with PulseX. Or it's not in the current framework, but so many people have asked him about it that he's like, okay, well, maybe I'm going to have to think about this, the staking part of it. Now, I'm not about like the lottery stuff and all that nonsense that, he's also spoken about, but any thoughts on, actually staking PulseX, just aside from liquidity providing?
I think people demonstrate just how brainstorming is going, right? When they're asking that type of a question, that's, the staking, there's no particular use case for that, for the PLX, or for the PulseX token. I think another interesting part is the voting rights. And for the owners of the PulseX token to also, in addition to be getting this awesome fee anytime there's volume that's routed through this, beneficial copy of Uniswap, people are going to have the voting rights for the incentive token. And so that's probably going to be used, whether the OA controls it or whether all of us on screen are, sending in our votes, biting our fingernails, hoping that everybody else will make the right choice. But incentivizing, if you think about paying people to bridge in liquidity from Ethereum, that pays for itself. If you already have adoption, if you have users, you can pay $150 million to bridge in liquidity, and then it's kind of like printing money out of thin air or whatever Bitcoin is doing, and all these things that have digital value. It's because they have users and because they have liquidity. And so to create almost price parity between the two chains, I think there's a lot of really cool game theory at play. What do you guys think?
I like what you said about how I do hear a lot of people saying, PLSX, what's the use case if I can't stake it or something? I just can hold it? Well, what's the use case of Amazon stock? It's
hold,
like,
baby.
You hold it because it appreciates, because people are betting on the future value of the system. And decentralized exchange is one of the most valuable things to come out of crypto, in my opinion.
Oh,
yeah, it's huge. And we are going to be on the best chain with the cheapest transaction costs, and we're also going to have the cheapest, standard fee other than PancakeSwap. And we have way more pairs than everyone else, which should mean we have more volume, which means we have more buyback. We have this huge buyback system. It's the most buyback and burn of any, so it's just going to be buying back the PulseX token at an absurd rate, in my opinion.
Well, people forget what Richard said a long time ago. Founders and holders are the only ones that make money in crypto. Traders get wrecked, speculate, like all these people get absolutely destroyed. But you find the right asset and you invest into it and you hold it for long periods of time, you become wealthy. And like Godwell was a perfect example of that. Go back and look to someone who bought Ethereum from the launch date and has held this entire time. And now the person never has to worry about money for the rest of their lives, and they get to go pursue what they want. It's the same thing. You find the right asset, you buy, you hold, and it is a speculation. But like if you're in the right product, it's going to do well if you just hold it.
I wanted to bring this up before it got too far back because it was posted a while ago by Devin C. Excuse me. I like Motley's take. I believe this was yesterday on the boat, Motley.
Okay.
Having. If you remember, but you were talking about if you're talking about the ecosystem and like all of the coins, it's like, well, one likely will be doing better than the other at a given point. So you could kind of like interchange. So if your stack in, say, a PulseX is not as big as you want it to be, or your HEX stack is not as big as you want it to be, and one pumps, then you could kind of like move one over,
feed into the other,
and kind of like build your ideal portfolio to what you're comfortable with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I intend to do. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have, like, I love Hex to Death. Spent 2 years, but like there's only so many layers you can peel back on the onion, and we peeled them all back on Hex. Like we have done this show. We've done a dozen other shows like this for 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, 24 hours. And I'm ready for the ecosystem to get here, and I want more products, and we're getting them. We're gonna have 5 new tokens to play around with. It's gonna be awesome.
March, April, June.
Well, let's see. It ends in March. I mean, that would be convenient if we could go straight into.
I guess end of February, technically, right? So.
Is it February with it? I don't know. I haven't seen how far it goes out with the dates. Once
so
the
February 25th is the last day that's listed there to sacrifice. I think it's cool that the last day of getting the introductory rate, which is the best rate, is the last day of the HEX conference. So Richard will be speaking like on the 9th of January here, and that'll be when everybody should have their money in for the PulseX Sacrifice, and then the rate goes up 5% a day, compounding, and then the in-person HEX conference will. So hopefully, I mean, if it's 2 weeks later, we might have a PulseChain network functioning by the time we meet in Vegas in person.
I can't wait for that.
Well, speaking of that conference, Matt, I did want to bring you on to talk about, because I mean, we're like less than a week away now, right?
That's right. Yeah, I'm so excited. So it's going to be starting next week on Thursday. It's going to be on my channel at Matty Allin on YouTube. And look at this amazing lineup that we have this year. Over 80 speakers, many of whom have their own YouTube channels. We've got NFL players, devs, quants, Discourse Syndicate, Richard Hart, Steph from Staker App, Firebun. All of you are, I believe, involved, and so I'm really excited because it's going to really, just like last year, showcase how as a community we work together, to benefit others, to educate, to inspire, and so there's gonna be different themes for the different times a bunch of people can get on screen at the same time. So I'm really excited.
And when is the 6th? What day is that?
That is Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, so people won't miss it. That's when everything starts. So go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes.
And
so if you want, I can go through the schedule here, and I can
absolutely go ahead.
Who's up when. And there's a detailed schedule that has everybody's name listed out here. I'm not sure. I guess I can share that as well, and then even though it's a little bit too small, but people will be able to see what the idea is here. So you can just go to hexconference.com, or to separate the two conferences, hexpo.online is the online version, and then in person is going to be 2 months later, in March 6th through 9th is going to be hexpo.vegas, but each of those can be found on hexconference.com. And so the starting time for hexpo.online is Thursday, January 6th, and it's going to be starting at, this is designed for people who are even working, and this is prime time viewing, is starting at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and plus 1 day, 1 a.m. UTC. And so you can see that on the chart here on the left.
Maddie? And
so the online is
as
free,
well.
and in person you can go to hexticket.com, or you can go to hexconference.com and click on the link. And there are right now 137 tickets left for Vegas. So make sure to check that out. But here on the first day of the Hex Conference, I thought it would be really epic to start out with 9 OG Hexicans all on screen at once, looking their best. And so that's why everybody's going to have a green screen. And so we're wanting to have Hexo and Motley, Big K, Cabana, Freddy Quotes, Crypto Sparbuck, Funding Jim, Hodl Dog, and Johnny Chaos, all on screen right at the beginning.
You said looking our best, no expectations, all right?
Yeah, the best within your ability, all right? No slouches.
And
it's awesome you set this up, Maddie. You did an awesome job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and it's going to be everybody's who's speaking is going to have a test link, and you can join the test room a half an hour before the conference, and that way we can make sure that your mic and lighting and everything is set up, that your green screen is set up, and that way everybody will be able to look their best, and we won't lose any minutes of the presentation with people's mics not working.
I still remember Kinetics on the last one, frantically trying to set up a green screen in his office, and it was the most awful put together green screen in the history. I remember we came on, it was like me, Kinetics, Johnny Chaos, and Hex Grandma, or Crypto Grandma, and I remember looking at Maddie's face when he saw Kinetics' green screen. He looked so horrified. It's like, what the heck?
It was very makeshift.
It was funny though.
And those are the moments that made the first Hex Conference. So,
yeah. We're only slightly more polished now.
Listen, the price last year at the Hex Conference was in between 1.2 and 1.7 cents.
Wow.
And then after the Hex Conference, it dipped below a third of a penny. And QuantGang launched at the beginning of February, where Hex was 0.7 of a cent. So you can see, yeah, we have come a long way in just 1 year. But even for people who are brand new, I thought the next 10 or 15 minutes of the program in that first hour can be just introductory videos. There's a 10-minute block of videos I have at a YouTube playlist called hexcontract.com, and that we can play that if there aren't any updates, if there aren't any brand new videos that have cartoons and they're explaining what Hex is in 3 minutes or less. And so playing that at the beginning, I think, will welcome in people who don't necessarily have the in-depth knowledge that people who are already, who have already become millionaires in Hex understand. And then we're going to have an hour of testimonials. And so unlike last year, we've got a lot of people who have polished testimonials who are known in the community, and they're kind of legendary testimonials. David Feeder, Crypty Girl, Joe Hexotic, Nardo for the win, Nate J, Wendy's for Tendies, Abit Hex, Bitfinesse, and TBA. Saving a spot there if somebody else has a good testimonial that they want to speak on, and those will be 6 minutes each. And then I want to confirm with Hexologist and Papa B that they're able to get on and do a 20-minute talk, and then the shark who got hacked is going to do a pre-recorded so that we can get him on there. And then Crypto Sparbuck will update their data-driven approach to understanding the future of T-shares, the future supply, the patterns mostly in the share rate and that sort of thing that they've been so accurate about in their last keynote presentation. And then we'll have 2 hours of socials and those will include Super HEX Win for the first one. That'll be the social media group, and that's El Hexidente, Super HEX Win, Serena Alonzi, Randy Hilarski, Naga Bo, Hexmac, Crypto King, Big Pep, and the Kenyan Hexagon. And then for the second hour, Timothy Benjamin, Crypto Contrarian, Hexagon 720, Talib Satoshi, Chris P, Hexagon Lindsay, Sinclair Crypto, Toby One Hexobi, and Hot Pro.
Nice.
Do you think
That'll
the
be the
documentary
first day.
people? Oh, good.
Yeah. So
This
we'll
must have been
have,
so
we'll have
hard
like
to
9
organize,
people on
man.
the screen at once each hour.
Jesus, this is so many people, man.
Yeah,
I know.
there's so many people in the community who have followings. It's so cool.
Yes, absolutely. And so on Friday, that's going to be a special day because we're kicking off with Crypto Coffee, Faux Motley, Johnny Chaos, and John Wig.
I'll be a follow.
Then we'll have 20-minute talks from Compassion Cartel, so Crypto Heartbeat,
That guy's amazing.
pre-recorded from Gunter the Accountant, the
I
Hex
love
OA
Gunter.
audit, and then Kareem to get people really fired up before this super controversial panel
Ooh.
between Eric Wall speaking for 15 minutes
Yeah.
and Coach
Is that
Ray.
real?
Boo!
Is that
He's
real?
got this shot at
He's a
Nerd Girl.
dickhead.
Is Eric really going to talk there?
Yes.
I guess it's good for him exposure-wise as well.
Of course it
He
is.
doesn't care if he's wrong. But
He's gonna get a
Exactly.
couple of people
He doesn't
following back
care.
on Twitter.
it's
Yep,
smart.
that's all they
Smart
care
of him.
about. Plebs.
So you can see that the people who are before and after this group of people who debate Hex, are really going to, I think, drive a lot of confidence. Kareem, the master salesman and master of quick math and, head of the shark staker class and all that. And then right afterwards, then we can have some words either from Discourse Syndicate, I know, or the Highest of Stakes. I know the Highest of Stakes said that they can't make it for some reason, but I think that the Discourse Syndicate is the perfect group, to change the mood of whatever false has been said, to bring the facts, to bring the moxie, to really tell the story as it needs to be told. And so whether that's Big K and the other executive producers, Kinetics, I know I've talked to, and he's in. RG3 will be hanging out with Robert Kiyosaki at that exact moment.
Ooh.
And so
All
he
right.
might jump on live
What?
with Kiyosaki, or he might not, just depending on how they're vibing and stuff. But yeah, that's super epic. Is like their exact time that they were scheduled to go overlaps with that. So that's exciting, right? Either way. And then we'll have a special, so the Hex musicians, I was thinking maybe TRL style. So people remember MTV, TRL with Carson Daly. Ours is going to be with Freddie Quotes. And, each musician can come on screen and get their video played and get interviewed. I don't know. It'd be cool.
There's a lot going on in this conference.
We're going to have Freddie Quotes, DJ Cryptomatic, Korean Investor, Pulse Lord, Black Crypto. Mike Grippo messaged me back from, he has a band that's really popular that has 30 or 40K subs on Twitter. And so Kissing Candace, and he's a Hexagon through and through. Unwrecked Pirate, haven't been able to get a hold of Morgan Corey Donaldson. But then for the Social 4, Tangent, D'Artagnan 8, Benny Blazarian, Jexa J, Jonathan Udis, Crypto Kool-Aid, The Joker, Nerd Girl, Staked Wealth. So that's really exciting. Friday's going to be epic. And then Saturday, 20 minutes by Pulse Validator David Feeder, 20 minutes by Firebun on Wrapped Stakes, 20 minutes by Dev Ruth on Vampires and Bridges. I heard they've made a breakthrough on some of the bridging technology that's going to be used.
Awesome.
That whole segment
Stuff.
there is going to be really cool, I think. With
gonna be
Fireball.
Yeah,
Stuff.
then having the 4 best-known quants in the space, Whales Only, Gerardo, Wave3 TV, and Silver the Antidote. on a
Happy
panel.
birthday, Gerardo.
Oh yeah, it's his
Hey.
birthday
Birthday,
today.
Gerardo.
Happy birthday, Gerardo.
Hey,
26, one of the youngest Hexicans.
That's
Legally an
right.
adult driver now.
And
I would
then-
say happy reduced insurance, but he hit that at 25, so not much to look forward to except for
Oh wait, is
Hex
that at
products.
25? You're the adult driver? Maybe that's.
Yeah, it's 25.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Justice Hill is confirmed to speak about sudden wealth with myself and Blaze Makes Music, so the HEX psychologists and athletes. If we can get any more athletes involved, we will. I know that there are a number of them in the space. And then a keynote by the Sens Foundation. I finally got a hold of them, and so we're working something out.
That's
and
cool.
Then there's new YouTubers here: Crypto Heartbeat, Pulse Gains, Crypto Panda, My Life is Awesome, K4K Crypto. What's up?
What's up?
I love the PulseChain guys. Like, it seems like a wave just came on with the new PulseChain. Like, I love all the. They're so much better than us, so it's awesome.
Dude, My Life is Awesome guy is so hype, dude.
He's great. I love him. Good heart too, right? It's a combination of hype, and you can tell his intentions are pure. Yep.
Fire roasted chickens.
Fire roasted chickens, baby.
That guy's way of life. I gotta hang out with him sometime.
Oh yeah, we will for sure.
That guy's awesome, dude.
His life is awesome.
Yeah.
And so we've got all kinds of people for the social there. And then we're going to do game theory and psychology with myself and Blaze and Future Us and Joe Hexotic. And then hopefully a talk by Dev Kyle or a similar talk, depending on last year. He said no, and then I asked him, and he agreed to like a pre-recorded that was so good last year. So I'm going to see what I can do there. And then Steph from Sacrap. I love that we're going to have John Wick talk about why he made the decision to do the origin address good accounting maneuver that happened. And then we'll have Richard Hart. And this will be a section called, so last year I talked with Richard for a year about mental health and self-help. And so this year I wanted, to give it to somebody else. And, I was thinking, who are some of the people who are working the hardest in the HEX space, who maybe haven't had a chance to be on with Richard before. And so that's why I identified actually all these people really stood out to me. So Future Us, Gerardo, Whales Only, Crypto Heartbeat, Super Hex Win, and Crypto Sparbach will each have their 6 to 10 minute session with Richard, one-on-one, back-to-back there. Cool. And so I'm really excited about that. And then to have Richard speak for a keynote for an hour, and then to have him joining with a social here, and then a social open to all. I know last year it was really awesome. He stuck around for a number of hours while we were all kicking it with him. So that's the HEX conference.
Tend to do that. Awesome.
He just won't let his devs watch. His devs are not allowed to do anything but dev work.
Yeah, devs are in the basement. Hexo and the devs are all in his basement working hard.
I see the Hexpo.Vegas March 6th to the 9th. I think it's funny timing because Tone Vase
oh my God! I don't think he knows what's in store for him.
His conference the 3 days before that. So if Hexos want to get there early, and
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there too.
I need to buy a ticket to his thing too.
I want to
his thing is actually like the 3 days before.
Yep.
He's hosting his, so it overlaps by a day. He's doing his at the D, which is always known to be a crypto-friendly place. But yeah, he has a relatively small conference room reserved, so that's why I know that his conference is small.
That'll be a fun trip.
And bigger is better.
Go say hi.
So.
I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Nardo or somebody else saying to get out there early, and if Hex wins, one of his scam awards, that you would accept it and do a speech and be like, "Hey, I'm a Hexkin. I'm here. Let me tell you about this. Why you guys are wrong. And then come on over to our conference 6th to the 9th.
Does he ever look at the price chart comparison? Does he just close his eyes and wish or something?
He just says Hex is a scam. That's all he says. Just like that. Hex is a scam.
There's no fixing stupid at a certain point.
It is really odd,
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when you see the numbers and they just don't lie, like to me, you're just being deceitful. Like
true.
I don't understand it.
Because he's seen the chart and he doesn't tell people about it.
Exactly.
How do you see this chart and not tell people about it?
Yeah, because we didn't pay him, bro. That's why.
No one's paying us. Playing
they don't
ourselves.
they don't make money off their crypto assets, right? They have a YouTube business, they have a pay
Right.
group business, they have a price calls business. Like all of it requires them to be the leading expert on their field, and something like Hex just breaks their model, because their model is not getting rich off their crypto investments. It's getting rich off their audience.
You're
Yes.
right. That's
Yeah,
100%
absolutely.
right. You
Absolutely.
said it. Nice. That's true.
And Hex was launched at the bottom of the bear market, right? And so it had been preceded by a lot of scam projects, and people were just sad about crypto in general when Hex came out. And so when you saw Richard Hart on the day that Hex launched stream with Tone Vase and his corrupt lawyers for 3 or 4 hours straight, right? That is
God, he
that's
destroyed
legendary
them.
TV.
If you
God,
haven't
no
seen it,
sleep either. He had no
yeah,
sleep.
if you haven't seen it, you have to go back and see it. It's probably honestly one of my favorite Richard Hart interviews, because you have this guy that's been working on this coin for almost 2 years. It's delayed for a year. He's been up the entire 2 nights now for launch. He's absolutely, if you've been up for 48 plus hours, you know how draining that is. And then he goes and out lawyers 2 lawyers on stream, and just savages them. And it's one of my
Never
favorites.
lost an argument, mate. He's never lost
And-
one.
And he was in prime form, just the passion, everything just came through, and he literally just trounced those guys. I'm surprised if there's still even lawyers at this point. That's how bad that stream was for them. You never saw them resurface afterwards.
Yeah, and they've made
I've never
for
seen those guys
some Hex
again.
video clips.
Never again. Dead
They were
body.
the first. They were the first Alexanders.
And now they
Yeah.
appear on these, Hex promo videos and music videos
yeah.
and stuff like
In
that.
history, immortalized in history on the wrong
Yep.
side. Oops.
Yeah, it's funny, man. One thing could I just say quickly? So, by the way, Matty, I think all of that you've organised there is fucking amazing, man. That must have took a lot of effort.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
thank you for your service. So, we're kind of
pleasure.
trying to build a little bit of a foundation over here in the UK, and we are doing some events. We just did one the other day, and 40 people came, but it was just a small town in the middle of England,
awesome.
and I couldn't believe how many people actually showed up for it. But it was fucking awesome, man. It was so cool. Someone brought up the fantastic idea on Twitter. Shout out to Ushplayer2. They said Peter McCormick has just recently bought a football club, and their average attendance, we found out, is about 50 to 100 people.
All right.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Absolutely.
We're gonna go down. I'm gonna
Buy your
organise
own.
this with a few people, right, that are already doing these events and stuff like that. We're just gonna turn up with a fucking army of Hexicans, Hex banners, flags, fucking
Everything.
t-shirts,
Hexmerch.com.
Hexmerch.com, unofficial, non-confirmed, but probably will be sponsoring the event. So
We got you.
we're gonna just go there. Because he pretends we don't exist. He just blocked however many of us. I think it was 1,000 people, maybe more, of us on Twitter. He's pretending we don't exist. He's pretending the chart doesn't exist.
50
And
people? Is that like a Division 10 club?
No, we're
Like-
smaller over here, but it's I think they're a Division 3 club, but I really don't watch a lot of football, so
Yeah.
sorry UK gang, because I know I'm probably terrible for the person to organise this, but all
He's
I
more of
know
a
is
cricket guy, all right? He's more of a cricket guy.
Ah.
I think we could get a good 200 of us to go
Oh,
down
yeah.
to this easily.
You guys got a
because
lot
it's
of Hex
right
kids
in the
out there.
middle of England, and
Do it.
How good would it be, seriously? For the
Make
meet,
sure
we'll
you
go
record
down in
it.
good spirits. We won't be confrontational or anything. like
No,
that.
just
We'll
having a good time.
We'll have a good time.
Decked
Just
out
right
in
on his
Hex gear,
doorstep.
PulseChain, everything.
Ignore us
fans.
now, motherfucker. Ignore us now. We're right here.
Football fans like to sing too, so you need a Hex anthem or song.
Yeah. We've been
Big.
thinking of some.
Yeah.
I think,
we'll
I think
put
for
some out.
for hexmerch.com we just started a new stay wrecked line with just
Oh,
Richard's
okay.
quotes, yes. So maybe pick up a couple of those.
Yeah, sure.
Has anyone made a T-shirt with the actual hex chart versus the other
No,
coins
but this
on
is
the bottom?
something that
wanna
I was
see that.
thinking really needs to happen. Just a picture of his tweet, against the logarithmic chart. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Right.
I'd buy 10 of them right now.
That's great.
It's so good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I love
so
this community.
our ideas are less sophisticated than yours, but we're doing stuff as well.
Still brilliant. Still brilliant. It's very spiteful. I
I
support
like it. Yeah. Make sure to live stream it on your channel.
Oh yeah,
subscribed.
wait. We're gonna do better than that. We're gonna go down and we're gonna capture it. Honestly, like I got people who are willing to help on this, and we're gonna capture it, and it's gonna look really good. It's man, just wait for when it happens, man. I swear down, it's gonna be brilliant.
Hexicans never forget. We bring receipts.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Going through.
Cool.
Just
That's awesome.
trying to go through chat because don't want to lose some of these. Question, is Rackham the real Godwell? I think they're two separate entities, my friend. So,
Yep.
no. The answer is no. He is not the real Godwell. Two different entities.
Both whales in the Hex ecosystem.
Yes.
But
And we
different.
are glad they are in our ecosystem. Kern Dog, can I sack from 1 inch? Don't know.
What is that
Sack
question?
from 1 inch.
Like, why don't you just like use your wallet? I'm trying to.
How do you sack from 1 inch?
1 inch isn't a wallet, or
Yeah, it's a
I'm
Dex. It's a Dex aggregator. Like, what are you
It's like
talking
saying,
about?
can I
That doesn't make
sacrifice
sense.
from Uniswap? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like if you're using your wallet on 1 inch.
Kern Dog, if you have the ability to sack from 1 inch, you might be in some
Maybe
trouble. Like.
Maybe he means 1 inch token. That's a token. You
Yeah,
can
that's
sell.
what I was saying.
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Not
Oh,
from
okay.
1 inch.
Is
That was poorly
eligible?
worded.
It was-
I was very confused.
Who was that guy in Richard's stream? Fong or something? Everyone's laughing at him that Richard kept
That
bringing him up.
was epic.
It was awesome. It was hilarious.
Read
I
the
watched
live
it on
stream
2x,
comments.
man, so I didn't really get the full gist, but it does sound funny. I wouldn't mind someone explaining what happened to me.
Read the live stream comments. Richard was so upset that he had to spend 5 minutes telling somebody who sent from exchange that they're out of luck. But you could tell he cared so much.
Oh,
But he was like right on the
that's
edge
kind
of
of
how much
sad.
he cares about something and when he wouldn't. And so he's like going back and forth between like not caring and caring. And the audience basically it was an instant meme. It was long everything.
It was.
In the live chat. You could go back and see it.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it. I just 2x'd it like earlier because it was when I was sleeping. You know?
I've still yet to see it, so it's on my.
it's
It's on my
epic.
bucket
It
list.
was funny. I feel like Richard is funnier on 2x. Like, you know, when he speaks, like the gaps between his
Shortened.
sentences is so funny. Like, yeah.
Well, that and he had audio issues last night, I think, so it was kind of hard to listen to.
Yeah,
at
he was
points.
losing frames and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
Interesting.
really?
It was odd. He doesn't usually do that.
yeah. So does the DAO vote for which pair is incentivized? I think that's the
Yes.
word.
Mm-hmm.
Any insight, or do I have it wrong?
Can I play devil's advocate here and say, what if too many hexicans... Sorry.
Take him off, Cabana. No, good.
You can...
And done.
As long as it's someone besides me for once, it feels
I got
good.
removed. That's it, boys. My life is complete, man. I don't need to do anything else now.
Bucket list complete.
You've been
No, but what I was saying is like, if let's just say devil's advocate wise, what if the hexicans had too much control over that voting right and they just favored hex too heavily? Would that not put people off?
That's why
Like,
the OA
wanting to
has
do
to.
it.
Yeah, the OA can
has
choose
to do
what
a move
gets
there.
picked. And they're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
pick what
good point.
best-
I didn't think about that. That's a good
They're
point.
not going to let.
It's a
Like-
DAO. It's a DAO.
Yeah. So it's
Like
almost a
ours,
democracy,
we're getting
but not
those
We
quite.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it makes you feel better, you can vote, but just remember there's more votes out there.
We don't trust
Yeah.
ourselves, but we do
Yeah.
want to incentivize a ton of liquidity coming over from Ethereum. And like I said before, I think that'll pay for itself. So
I think so too. I think there's a lot more in that than people realize. So it actually is gonna make sense, man. It's gonna make sense.
Hey, I got to head out. I got some friends I'm meeting with in like an hour. So thanks for having me on Cabana Crypto. Hope you
Yeah,
feel
man.
better soon. And it was good meeting you all you guys. This isn't. Maddie sent me a video to confirm that he wasn't a scammer in my DMs. Remember that, Maddie?
of course,
Yeah. He sent me a video just because he sent me a survey in my DMs, like first message, and I was like, I don't know, like I checked everything. I wasn't sure if this was you or not. And he's like, he sent a video immediately. He was like, "Here's me. I got my shirt on. It says Maddie Allin." And I was like, "Thanks, man. That's so cool." So
Heck
thanks
yeah.
for doing that for me. And it was good to
My
meet you,
pleasure.
Hexy Bastard and Motley.
Yeah,
And we
pleasure
missed
to
you guys
meet.
in
Hey,
Vegas.
actually, just before you leave K4K, so when I was at this meetup the other day, I literally had 4 different people come to me and be like, "You have to check this guy out," and they were talking about you. Literally, out of 40 people, like 10% of them came to me and was just like, "You have to check him out. You need to speak to him or something, or like check him out, whatever." And I was just like, "Damn!" So I just checked you out earlier, but yeah, you're fucking getting around, mate. So well done.
Yeah, the sub count's pretty crazy. I don't know, but thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for telling me that. That's super cool.
Good
Yeah,
work.
it was sick.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
care,
for your
man. Have a
videos,
good one, bro.
K4K, and we'll see you soon, man. Thanks.
Keep it coming. Peace out, everybody. Happy New
Take
Year.
care, man.
Later.
Happy drink beer. Where was I?
Oh, nice. Hex is bumping back up. 0.27. Let's go.
Is it? Ooh.
That's what Mudhog said. 0.272.
Do you know it bounced right off the fucking trend line that it probably was like breaking out from?
It was funny. Me and Mitchell were like looking at it and like, watch this shit bounce in the next couple minutes. And sure enough.
Yeah.
Question, Maddie. Any place to donate to help with expenses? I'm guessing for Vegas.
Yeah, so I just use the same Ethereum address for everything so that everybody can see what's happening on chain and so that scammers can't impersonate me. So you can go to YouTube to the video that I have pinned, and it's going to start with 0xFEED. And so for the 4th day of the HEX conference with Richard Hart, there's the donation address, and I can paste it here too. Because that's super helpful. I've been personally negotiating with the AV people and with the people who cater and all that kind of stuff. So I'm super ensuring that we're going to have an excellent event and that it's also going to be at an affordable price. I don't like the idea of giving out blank checks, and I think people are going to see from the quality of the event and how affordable it is. Right now, the tickets are still $369 for 4 days of a full scientific conference with food included. So,
Nice.
yes.
You're breaking up a little bit, Maddie. Or maybe
Am I?
that's me. I don't know.
I think it was you, Molly. I heard him.
Yeah. Hotel Wi-Fi.
Okay. Crypto Gym Rat, thanks for all you do. What a great year. Hex has changed everything for me. Awesome to hear, man. And I think like we might have been your first stream back in July. So thanks for coming on, man. Come on again sometime. Catching up on comments here. Great stuff. Crypto Learner. Can't wait to see it. Romanian Dan, I heard there will be a cage match of Wales and Richard versus Peter Maclasso and that Bo guy from YouTube. I would actually pay to see that.
I would pay to see that.
Yeah.
I know who my money is on.
The tickets for the cage match, those are extra, and those are sold separately.
Okay.
to be clear.
Fucking hell, man, that's funny.
Because we have a cage match between Brian Armstrong and Bitfinesse. Bitfinesse wants to beat up Brian Armstrong for the damage that he's
My
going
money
to
is also on Bitfinesse.
Yeah.
My money's on Bitfinesse. I don't even actually know what
Bitfinesse
he
is
looks
a
like.
madman. Better watch out.
Question from Completion Fails. What happens if you sacrifice from an exchange like Coinbase? I know you're not supposed to, just curious. I think Richard went over this last night, and it's like, well, how?
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do
Bad
it.
things will happen. Don't do it.
Why tempt fate? Go from a wallet that you actually possess.
And better yet, learn the value of having your own wallet instead of keeping it on an exchange. I think
That's what we're trying to
that's
teach.
something that's super important, man.
I am way behind on comments. Holy crap. Rock Edison, hi everyone. Hi Cabana. Happy
Hex Toshi just donated too. Shout it out.
I'm like way far away. Okay. Happy sailing. Happy New Year's Hexkins 2022.
I think I met him in London. Nice.
Hex sailing?
Bro. Yeah, I think I met him in London.
Nice.
I might be mistaken. Someone else told
Yeah,
me.
watch him be like, nope.
Someone was talking to me about sailing, and he said his name was Hex, something to do with sailing. I'm pretty sure that was the same guy. So
it's probably a good call.
I'm 90% sure.
Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't count on it, to be honest. Actually,
I saw your live stream. Yeah, it was Hex Sailing.
Hex Sailing. Wait, on my live stream, which one?
Yeah, you did a live stream earlier today, 3 hours ago.
Oh, that. Oh, I did do one, but the connection was so bad I had to just hide it because like I was doing it from my internet, like my mobile internet. It was just so bad, man. Like the quality was, nah. I had to just get rid of it. But I've got the video still. Like maybe there's parts of it that are worthwhile, but like most of it was just like stuttering all over the place and not working.
I just saw the end of it. Yeah, it seemed perfect to me.
Oh, okay. The bit I watched was just like shocking, but.
Where is the Vegas conference being held? Is it the Conrad?
So the final address has not been released yet. It's the same as, for the London event. They didn't release the address right away. It'll probably be out by next week.
Okay.
So I'm just finalizing my negotiations.
Negotiations in progress.
Yes.
1inch network already sacked close to 10 grand. So, okay, there you go. Yeah, we got to Hex Sailing's Happy New Year.
Oh my God.
1inch was a DeFi wallet you can download. Yes, another Hex conference question. So, in negotiations next week, possibly, Maddie will be able to,
next week we should
share. Okay. LV event will be fantastic. So, yeah, Maddie did put the donation address in the chat there, so just head to there for that. Xtoshi, what's up? Kanaba and crew for all you guys do. Cannabis, Cabana,
Kanaba.
Cabana eats people in his spare time.
Happy New Year's, Hextoshi.
I'm a Kanaba. Trolling at a soccer game, it will be a first. Yeah. So
yeah, right.
Bro, literally,
you gotta have like
imagine.
a chant or a song or something. It'd be like,
yeah,
oh,
we'll have
Hex,
many,
Hex.
mate. We will make this spectacular. You don't understand. It will be so good.
Who is this guy? Crypto Vince. He must be a noob.
I've never heard of him before.
Never heard of him. Couldn't make it on today. But
Seems like
Happy
a
New Year.
pleb.
Yeah.
I like the pun. It's a good pun.
Oh boy. Happy 2022 is the year we all make generational wealth. Thank you, Vince. For... so punny.
Thanks, Vince.
So punny.
Thanks, Vince.
So punny. Thanks, Vince. DJ Cryptomatic. They just ticked over.
Nice. Happy New Year's.
So you got
Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year, DJ. So it gets, what do you got, 51 minutes there, Hexy?
Yeah, 51 minutes. So if we're still streaming then, I will just, because I told everyone I was going to stream with them for the bells anyway for a laugh. So I already told them we were here, but I'll just once again tell them that we're here. So I'll do little like, there you go, cheers guys.
Cheers.
Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year to all my like 800 new friends that I just made in the last 4 or 5 months or something.
Yeah. So what do you guys do over there? So over here, I guess one of the things to do, I guess, at home is like watch the ball drop on TV. Like, is there any festival or go-to event that you guys kind of...
There's like a thing on TV that they always do that I guess most like house parties will have on, and there'll be like some fireworks from, it'll be like a scene from London where there's like fireworks and things going on and the bells go off and all of this kind of stuff, but it's nothing too exciting really. Yeah, and everyone just gives each other a hug and says Happy New Year, and then it's on to the next one. Nothing ever happened, you know?
Man, this one's gonna be something else. 2022, my God,
it's gonna be
wild.
mental for us guys. Literally,
It's gonna be
like,
mental. It really is.
Oh man, I really seen it when we were at that event the other day, just how many people turned up to where we were, because it is just not a convenient or like big place or anything, just like how many people were there. It's like, fuck me, man. Imagine what this is going to be like a year from now, how many people are going to want to come along to that.
Just
Everything in crypto
exponentially
is
grows.
digital, and so when people's lives are changed by something so intangible, then they want to show up in person and understand that it's real with a bunch of other people that share their reality. And so the Hex meetups, I think, are really good for us, even on a social, psychological basis, right? Because we can kind of celebrate our mad gains. I mean, people who believed in Hex in the past 2 years did not have an easy go of it. right?
Yeah, it's
there
true.
were so many haters and so many reasons to sell early if you didn't time lock, if you didn't play your cards right. And so the people of those of us who are left are the believers. And
yeah. In real life, when I've been trying to show this to people, so just for context, I only got into HEX in like May of this year.
Awesome.
Soon to be last year, right? So that's when I found it, and I was pretty sold on it straight away. But it took me a little while to figure it out, and everyone I've tried to explain this shit to, they just do not get it, man. Like, I'm convincing people now.
You gotta explain it better.
It's taken a lot. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I've had to really invest a lot of time to like figure out the best way to explain it to people and stuff. And now I'm realizing the simpler you do it, the better. Really, you just number go up, that kind of thing. You just don't have to explain it fully. You know, they can learn about it themselves. There's so much content out there, but it was really the community that stood out for me. It's like, yeah, there's so many real people here that actually have done it, and it's tangible. You know, you can see it, and that's what stood out for me, and that's why I kind of do what I do now, and I'm so active with all of it, because I just fucking love these guys. They're like a new family to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
it's exactly
we've all found our place here. We all want the same thing. Like, we're so different, but we all have our own little skills that we bring to the table, and yeah, it's just fucking brilliant, man. It's like being part of a new movement somehow or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
It's sick.
Yeah, getting rich is one thing, but getting rich with like your friends and your family, like that's what matters. Like it makes it that much more exciting, right? Like all my onboards, some of the people that listen to me the first, like we have like our own group, and like they're all it's just like that kind of feeling. It's like we all get a small taste of what Richard does on a daily basis.
Well, Motley, you've done an excellent job of that, and through your work and your own social networks, you've onboarded a lot of people. I wish I would have done more for people, and I think it's just in my personal life, you know, people don't necessarily have a lot of money to invest, the people I associate with, but at the end of the day, I've ended up gifting a lot of HEX to people to, you know, and that being a super large amount of money now.
Yeah,
that's the good thing. We get a lot of us OGs, like we have the ability to, you know, make sure you can gift HEX, just make sure it's done, I think, in kind of the right situation. Make sure they understand what they hold. You could always help people out in different situations. Like a lot of OGs are blessed to be able to afford that opportunity. And to me, it's always nice to be able to pay it forward, you know, because all of us were given this gift and blessing to be here from the start. So it's kind of on us to continue putting that message out there and giving back to the community.
There were certain people that
so
aren't going to get it. Oh, sorry, mate. I was just going to say that there were certain people that are just not going to get it, like in my family and whatever, where you like really want to help them and you want to onboard them, but they're just never going to fully understand it. So you just have to do it for them, and then they might start to understand it. But even if you just give them that little bit, that's because that's what I did over Christmas this year. Is like I didn't really get anyone anything. I just gave them a bit of HEX, but it's cost me so much money in ETH fees to sort it all out, man. Jesus Christ!
Very expensive gift.
Yeah, expensive because of the fees.
It's
But
worth
you're
it,
still
though,
gonna,
for sure.
you're
It's
right.
going to sucker them in.
Yeah,
know?
you show them, like you set them up, and then you show them, you know, set up the staker app for them, and they can see it, and it's so easy, I think, for them to understand it then, especially if they check back and, you know, see the price go up and down and more so up, and you know, it's getting to that point. It's like, I have to do what now? I have to MetaMask and send Ethereum? What? And yeah, if you know, some people, you just got to take those steps and be like, okay, I'm just gonna take this off your hands and at least get you started.
Yeah, all I gave him was a private key, man. That was it. Just the private key was done already.
$100 last Christmas turned into $4,200 this Christmas.
Wow, see what I mean? And I've staked it for 2 years for him minimum. So
that's awesome.
Let's see,
Good
man.
job.
Let's see what that does for him. But it was £20 that I got for them each, but it cost me about $30 or $30 to $40 each to fucking move it around and do the things that I needed to do. But like, it was more out of principle of like what the value of, because they're going to get their copies on PulseChain, because I know they'll come around eventually, but they ain't going to come around before PulseChain. Like, it's going to take too long to sort it out. So yeah, I just wanted a little bit, but it's just one of them things, really.
So Motley, what's your pitch that you give to like a regular working class person?
Sorry guys, my connection's breaking up, but I think what you said was like, what's my pitch for HEX?
To a working class person.
People that know you. And
I mean, I mean, the biggest thing I tell people, like, people try to come up with these like specific like elevator pitches and these small things to just introduce HEX to people. And the biggest thing I tell everyone is like, everyone's different, right? Like, everyone's incentivized by different things. Like, when it comes to sales, you have to realize you have to first figure out what that individual really wants, and then show them how your product that you're trying to sell them or introduce them to will help them achieve their goals, right? Because everyone's unique. Everyone has different wants in life. Someone might want a Lambo. Someone might want to be able to financially support their family. Someone might just want to be able to travel the world. You just have to figure out what they're incentivized by and then show them how HEX can get them there. And I can guarantee you, you can pretty much bring it back to HEX in any situation. Like, there's no situation that someone needs something and you can't bring it back to HEX, one form or the other. The next thing, the other biggest thing I would say when it comes to introducing someone with HEX is just like, we saw this back with the guy on Barstools, right? Like, his sales pitch was by far from good, but I will always give him credit for having the balls to go up there and do that, because people can armchair quarterback that all day, but until you're actually there on the spot, most people don't have the balls to actually go out there and introduce yourself and try to do the sales pitch live. And you think you can do it, but until you do it in person or you do it on stream, you realize how hard it is. So it takes practice, repetition. That's what I was like telling Hexy Bastard. Like, you can always get better at it. Continue to work on your pitch. If your onboards aren't quite getting it, maybe there's something you can tweak and improve. But over time, it really comes down to the individual knowing the product well and being able to explain or handle any objections. That's probably the best thing you can do. And then from there, what I do most of the times, like, you see me, like, I always have a HEX necklace, I have a HEX hat on, I have a HEX shirt on, and so, like, I wear the brand and it just opens up. It's the conversation starter for it, right? Like, I went to UPS to go drop off a package and the girl's like, oh, I like that necklace and that hat, and like, what is that? And then you just go right into the conversation. Or like, I'm at a bank and I'm trying to wire more money into HEX, and they're like, oh yeah, I see you got this, you're wearing this, like, what's this? It's like, oh, that's actually why I'm wiring all this money. I'm trying to buy more of this cryptocurrency. And then, like, I keep in my trunk, I have, if you go on Amazon, you can buy the HEX book for like $5. I have 50 of them in my trunk right now. Go grab it out of my trunk. Here's the HEX book.
Fucking cool, man.
Yep.
That's cool. Smart.
I'm telling you, it's just all these, do it. But it's just stuff you learn with practice. And the biggest thing, don't focus on the sales pitch. Otherwise, it comes off like that Carl salesman. Listen to the person, right? That's the last thing people never get in sales, is they want to just regurgitate everything they know, get it all out there, and it's overwhelming. Listen to the person first, find out what they want, and then show them how they can achieve that through HEX. That's how you win when you're onboarding into HEX.
I know what you mean. It's just the only reason that I bring it up, that it's been such a difficult sell, is because, you know, when I speak to like smart people, anyone who knows anything about Bitcoin or whatever, it's actually kind of an easy sell, and they probably do go off and buy it and do whatever they're doing. But it's like family who know nothing about crypto. That's where it becomes a little difficult, because they don't even understand like why it's valuable at all. Like, you know, from the grassroots, like
that. So. I'll say that's another mistake, is sometimes people don't realize when you're pitching HEX, sometimes the conversation has to start way before HEX, right? Like, what is money? What is crypto? Like,
exactly.
you have to like lay a foundation
to really go into it. So, you know, that's why recently I'm just skipping all the shit, and I'm just like, look, man, just buy it and I'll explain later. It takes too long and you haven't got enough time right now to listen. So.
Yeah, that's what people don't realize, is sometimes you have to lay the foundation and the groundwork of knowledge that precedes HEX before they can fully understand what HEX is. And so that's why people don't understand. They give the HEX sales pitch and people just don't get it. It's because they're missing pieces of the foundation before.
Sure.
And if everybody in HEX put, you know, a bunch of effort even into onboarding one or two people, and by effort I don't mean, you know, selling it too hard, but just, you know, just keeping it interesting for yourself is what I like to do, right? Because I'm listening to everything Motley's saying, and that's super true, right? And And at the same time, I see so many hexicans over-explaining hex. You know, sometimes it can take hours and hours and hours to explain to somebody what is money, what is Bitcoin, what is hex, what are T shares. And now that person has information overload, and we can't do anything with that. And so his idea of having these $5 books in the trunk ready to go to hand out to people, that's brilliant. I'm going to do that. Motley's like my older brother in crypto. I just copy all of his moves. I get ready for all the airdrops.
If it works, it works. Hell yeah. The mass token. Someday, Maddie.
Evidently, show them the knee, because that works for a few people in chat.
Yeah, everyone likes the knee. The Mott knee.
Mott knee investor. So, on that note, I guess we can go real quick to the most talked about and famous segment recently on this show. And anybody watched the Ladies Discourse Syndicate last week? You're
not gonna show it, are you?
Well, I can show it, and the reason is it's so small it didn't take much to blur it out. So
I did see this. Yeah, I seen this.
The fuck is this?
What am I looking at?
Do you know what kills me? It's Blue Bum. His face.
He's so happy. So happy. You know why? He's probably like, mine's bigger. Thank God.
I didn't think of that. It might be true. But yeah.
Black Hexagon.
The girls are so disappointed.
Yeah. So
oh my God.
That was part one. But
oh my goodness.
Then the guy actually like.
Oh, there's a second part.
There's a second part to it.
I only did the first part.
Yeah, because he actually showed his face, and I never knew.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Motley had
a
sleeve tattoo.
Hold on. No. Excuse me. No. Get the fuck out of here. No. You son of a bitch. I got virgin skin still. Not me.
Oh man, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I think it might have been Day 43 who put that up. I was just like cracking up. Oh my God.
Yeah. I think he did it like in the Cutthroats or something.
Yeah, and then the Kinetics and RG3 like were rushing madly to like just delete the video. I was like, you don't have to delete the video. You can probably just go back and like
delete it.
Yeah, blur that part, and then you're done.
They had two strikes.
Oh, they had two strikes.
They had two strikes already. So yeah.
Oh shit.
One of their strikes hadn't fallen off yet. So if they got that third strike, they could just lose the channel completely. So they're like, fuck that, get it off. Take it off.
Wow.
Yeah. They gotta wait for that second strike to drop off.
Blue Bum, it was nothing to be
There's nothing to be afraid of.
He's here as well. Brilliant, man. Good to see you, Blue Bum.
Yeah, Blue Bum, while you're in chat, if you want to come on next week or in the next couple weeks, I think you might have gone on with Freddie Quotes, or you're supposed to talk about the Hedron token, which I guess goes up hex stakes. Well, the Hexicans were interested about that in the late show that the Aussies were talking about, so it'd be cool to just talk.
Can you explain what the context is on that?
I would like Blue Bum to, because he can.
he's like that show content for next week.
Right.
I know a little bit about it, and I will say if it works, it's good.
Yeah. So I'm super curious about it. I'm endorsing or anything like that, but I just want some. I think it was a good little talk he had on there, and then the other Aussies were like, "This isn't a Hex or a PulseChain token," and Blue Bum's like, "It has to deal with Hex. Let me talk about it." And then Day 43 was like, "No, I don't want to talk about it."
It's a scam. Fuck you. They ain't having it, mate.
But it's based off your Hex stake, so it's like tokenizing.
Well, the nuts and bolts of it is only Hex stakers can actually get the token.
Right.
So how I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. So.
Yeah, I'm not this week, Blue Bum. I see you're out and about right now, but yeah, in the next week or two, because a lot of people are actually very interested in that in your guys' chat.
Yeah, when I get time, I'll look into it more.
Yeah.
As long as it's safe, it's going to be a great idea. That's all I'll say about it.
Well, there's a few of those out there right now.
I know nothing about code, so it's just one of them.
And what else? Anything else on the list? Oh, before we close out, so what do you guys think of the Richard Hart and Kevin interview?
It's not my favorite interview of all time. I think that the exposure was incredible to 1.7 million subscribers, I guess, and what, 50K or 70K watched it on his side, something like that.
Wasn't it similar numbers, though, on both sides of how many people were actually tuning in? Don't you find that a little sus?
No, it's awesome. We have a better community.
Richard has
I mean, I agree with you,
but 95K subs. So, so the view counts made sense. So he didn't completely buy his audience. They just lost interest in him relative to like Richard's audience, which is staked on average for 6 years. So he's gonna stay tuned, right? And so, but there were parts of it that felt combative, and Richard didn't really deliver the same stats that he always does. Like, I found that he was off here and there. He said the average staking length was 8 years, and then he said 6. He said 27 or $28 million, but he like flip-flopped on how much had been donated to the Sens Fund. So I could tell
saying Richard made mistakes. I didn't notice this.
He was tired. Yeah, he was really tired.
Another big one was like he messed up on the bonus T shares. He had to go all the way out to 15 instead of 10.
Yeah.
And who actually did a really good in-depth analysis of the interview was actually Big Pep. He talked about it, and I think all the points he brought up was pretty accurate. One, I mean, it wasn't the best interview, but for eyeballs and opening doors into a whole nother world of mainstream investors, it was massive, probably the biggest one to date. Totally. I think Richard actually was a little bit nervous, right? Because he understood how important this interview was as well. Because again, it just opens up the door to new investors. It is a very large channel, and you could see how quickly he was out there trying to get all the information out there, trying to punch hard as quickly as he could. And like Matty said, he did make a few mistakes because he's just trying to go, Johnny on the spot, quick. And I think it went really well, but there was a couple things with like Meet Kevin. I give him credit because a lot of people gave him shit for not, bringing up old FUD and all this other stuff, but like he essentially only had a day or two to study HEX before he got on with Richard.
Not long enough.
So what he got, like, I don't blame him at all for bringing up old FUD and gathering that, because you're just going to come across it when you only have a day or two to do research. But I think he did very well. I think Richard just kind of threw him off his kilter right from the start when like he tried to say what Bitcoin was, and Richard's like, wrong. Let me show you what Bitcoin really is. And I think that right from the rip showed him that he was dealing with a different animal, and Richard, someone who's actually very like an expert in the space, if you dealt with a bit boy or whatever, like they're going to kiss your ass and it's going to be very basic, like to the moon, parabolic. Richard's going to teach you what crypto actually is, where all the misinformation is, and he's going to correct you if you say something wrong. And so I think as the interview went along, I think me, Kevin, did get a little frustrated, and then that's why it turned a little bit more combative towards the end. And again, it was just, I think there was just a little bit of miscommunication, and it just kind of drifted off on like some old FUD at the end with the OA, with stuff that doesn't matter. Where does the ETH go? With like really got hung up on like the NDA with the audit because they didn't finish it. Yeah. So like there was some confusion there, and it kind of turned a pretty good interview into like leaving you feel lackluster at the end. But overall, anyone who's intelligent and saw that interview will recognize Richard's intelligence in this space, and if they have a desire to invest in cryptocurrency, they'll do more deep diving. They'll go look into his videos. You can go back and see his first videos of self-help videos and realize that this guy's intentions are good. If you don't understand that, even though he comes off to some people as rude and brash, it's really just no filter, right? It's like, I'm going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not, and you might dislike me for it, but I'm going to speak honest truths to you. And so that, I think that'll come across, and the ones that are willing to learn and the ones that want to learn, like they'll find HEX and they'll be here. It was big. It was the biggest interview to date, 100%. Could have gone better, but again, it's an armchair quarterback thing, right? Like everyone wants to say they could do better, they couldn't.
I really think there was times in that interview where Richard spiked his interest like 100% and delivered some facts that actually got him thinking a little bit. And I don't think this guy's exposed to the reality of actual crypto and how it all works. It's only really Richard preaching this shit. Half the stuff he teaches us, no one else will teach you. So for us, it seems basic, but to people like him, he's kind of a
We live and breathe it. He's over and he was real estate heavy, so he knows real estate well. He's moved over to stocks more, so he knows stocks better. He was involved in politics. Like, he's not focused in crypto, and none of these big influencers are. That's why they sit there and they talk about Shiba Inu and why they bring on people like BitBoy. They just don't know. Right? They just don't know.
They just talk about what they get paid about, what they get paid for. Sorry.
Paid for, or they just know crypto is currently popular. So again, they're YouTube-based business, right? Like, they're based off their audience, off their view count, off advertisers. Like, so this is a hot trending topic and it loosely relates to my channel. I'm going to talk about it. But they don't understand with crypto. Like, if you're not careful and you give misinformation in the space, like, people can lose their entire fortune, right? Like, going into some of these things and getting rugged when they don't. So these big influencers, they need to take a step back and realize I think they know what kind of responsibility they have, but like, crypto is just a whole nother animal. You misspeak on crypto and you lose everything.
Have you guys ever seen the Allin podcast? It's 4 different billionaires. They sit around and they do a weekly show. They usually post on Thursdays or Fridays. And it's with Chamath Palihapitiya, David Sachs, David Friedberg, and Jason Calacanis. And they're all venture capitalists that, they've started covering crypto on their show. I've been following them for a year, so I've seen like 50 of their hour-long episodes, and they're super popular. They just went to like the one of the number one podcasts, on lots of different channels when it comes to finance, but they've recently started talking about crypto, like I said, and I think that might be why people like me, Kevin, are expanding into crypto, because they saw there was this huge boost in the subscriber count for podcasts like the Allin podcast, which I'm not saying that they stole my name, but we did turn at the same time.
Not saying
this is going. All right, okay, I get it. Yeah. Makes sense. No, that's.
I almost wonder if Richard threw the interview because he didn't want mainstream finance investing in PulseX.
No. He's not going to self-sabotage no. I think he realized how important that interview was, and I think Richard, just like anyone else, is human, and I think he was slightly nervous because he realized how important this interview was. This was the most important interview to date, 100%.
What is this?
That's just a 4-hour. So
pump, baby, pump.
Coming back to the bottom of the recent little channel there. So
the Cabana pump.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting because we have 25 minutes till the, I guess, quote, end of the year. And then, we all know what happened last year with
2 cents, baby. 2 cents.
The craziness.
That was at midnight, right? The price doubled.
I think it was the UTC time. I thought.
I can't remember. It was close on New Year's. Because it went all the way up to $2 and then instantly sold back down to $2. 2 cents. 1 cent. I'm trying to make Hexa's price prediction come true for end of year, right? $2, baby. Pump it. Push that price against yourself.
There's still hope.
There's still hope.
Cool. Bought the dip at 25 cents. Good for you.
Nice.
So, Motley, are you one of the top investors here in PulseX currently?
I invested a shit ton into PulseX. I think after I got the tokenomics and everything, I was just like, I just continued to put more and more into it, and now it's the most. I've sacrificed more for PulseX than anything else. Economic.
Oh, did you? All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start eating rice and beans now because I have no hope of catching
Actually,
up.
you say that, and I think like I may have gone over my pulse. By
You
just
did.
a little bit.
I think you did, and
Wow.
and I am not, in fact, the largest PulseX sacrificer. Cabana's beating me by a little bit, man.
I am not. I have no.
I mean, no, never mind. He's a silent shell.
Yeah, I am a silent.
Boating
shell.
accident.
Boating accident on the yacht, or on my little John boat. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, PulseX is the heaviest I've gotten in on to date.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, that's
Gonna be
interesting.
rewarded, my friend.
Yep, I think so.
Well, with the
Speaking
tokenomics of it, I mean, it's just like
It's a
you were saying,
no-brainer to
Motley,
me.
It's
You're betting on the success of PulseChain, and I think it's going to be very successful.
I think the world needs PulseChain right now.
I agree.
well that, and you have like Richard's already said, the entire system state and the liquidity pairs you're gonna have like there. So you
It's
have
free.
better tokenomics and all that stuff. It's like what?
It's
It's
never.
like a gateway drug to everyone, isn't
It's
it? They're gonna
free
come
money on
across,
the
get their
massive
free
scale.
money, and then they're going to be like, actually, this network's quite good, you know. Maybe I could do this.
I'm
with
gonna
other
stay over
stuff,
here.
and I might do some stuff over here. Fucking hell, it costs a penny to make an NFT. Jesus Christ! All right.
It was the
I'll make
same
an
way when I
NFT.
started. It was the same way when I started messing around on Matic, and like you were given like one Matic, and I could do almost like 10,000 transactions per one Matic. Like it's
That's
addicting.
incredible. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Super. It's just like wow. I was like,
I've
oh,
never
this
used
is,
Matic
it's refreshing.
before.
Yeah.
My DGen blood has only took me as far as BSC, and that's just a shitcoin circus, man. That place is.
That's like I'll always go dabble and stuff just to see what everyone else is doing in the space, but then like again, all roads lead back to here to just the better built ecosystem, everything. So
Yeah.
it's just like go
There's no
dabble,
risk
see what everyone
here
else is
for me.
doing. Yeah, and then you come right back. It's just like, all right, yep, nothing's better. Keep on trucking along.
There's really nothing that I would see as risk free as HEX, and that obviously
Yep.
like shouldn't be financial advice from anyone. But I'm just saying, like, there's nothing as risk free as HEX in my opinion, because even if the price stays the same, you make so much money, but it's just not going to stay.
100%. 100%.
It's going to go up.
Yep. It gets crazy with price appreciation on top of that interest.
Yeah, this is one I've thought about a lot, actually. Crypto Learner, DeFi games going to profit massively from cheap transactions like Decentraland and others. So, like, why
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
they?
a good point, man.
So many NFT platforms coming over, games, gambling, every degen, every piece of the pretty much a lot of stuff that just can't work anymore on Ethereum. The fees are too high when you need to run multiple transactions. Just Ethereum's too broken for that right now. So I mean, a lot of stuff, you know, Richard doesn't like, the community doesn't like, but I mean, it is what it is, right? Like it's going to make all our bags successful, and to each their own, right? Freedom of choice. Let people do what they want. We'll continue to educate. That all the information will be out there for people to make the decision themselves. But I mean, if people are going to degen, they're going to degen, and let them come on over. As far as I'm concerned, burn up my polls, baby.
I think we should kill him with kindness, man.
Yeah, come on in.
Literally,
Come have
we'll
fun.
just be like, look, oh, you got wrecked. I'm so sorry. Let me show you a better way. There's a better way here. You know,
You're-
you're already here. You just have to make that journey over to the HEX
Your
sticker.
NFT
Those-
is cool on Ethereum, but it's even cooler on PulseChain because you can transact for like less than a penny. Come on over.
Serious, man.
Yeah, T-Bird says if Hex pops to $1 between now and the 10th, he'll match you, Molly. But that's an interesting part of the game theory, right? Because wouldn't a lot of other people be like, oh, well, I have more Hex stack now and dollar value, so I'm going to
Why
get
not?
it.
Why
Yeah.
not put in more? Yeah.
Something
If-
tells
if
me
Hex-
there's a few tricks going on. Like, there's a few
Oh,
tricks
yeah.
up people's sleeves here. So I don't think it matters too much what
Well-
people decide they want to do.
I'm telling you, like when we ended up having to have like an emergency meeting and sack the rest of our stuff last night, like we were looking at it. It's just like it was a Hex whale just playing games, right? It was account that had over 100 million liquid Hex, and we saw them just start selling down the Hex price just repeatedly. It was like, oh well, screw this. Like we're gonna try to get in on this TWAP real quick, and then we'll reevaluate after that. And sure enough, they sold it down to like 25 cents. And now we're just recalibrating, watching, going back to whale watching, and see what the rest of the market wants to do, what kind of games they want to play.
Yeah, so I guess I wanted to throw this out there because the stream before this on Discourse with Hexo, Coffee, and RG3, they were talking about that in a sense of, excuse me, shit. I just lost my thought.
Hexo, RG3, Crypto Coffee.
The SAC phase. And do you think this is like the best way to do this? Could there be changes in it? Because to your point, Motley, like you do have these bigger players that can come in and just dictate and cut off like your sacking value in a sense. Mm-hmm. So it's like, is there a better way to do this? Say if we do one for a privacy coin or whatever it could be down the line, but I don't know. It's just something interesting to think about. And I was just like, man, we have seen this basically twice within the past two.
History tends to repeat itself. And I mean, I would say the way that I've adapted to it is just like, okay, I understand the mechanics of it. And we've put stuff in place where we essentially use the mechanics that are currently established and taking advantage of it. Like there are ways to do it, but then there gives and takes with that, right? Like you have to give up certain things to. I'm going to give too much away. Yeah, it's I don't know.
he's a
voting accident.
Himself, okay? Like don't trust anything he says.
Yeah, I don't know. It's for something like Richard to decide, or I mean, I'd be interested to see people come up with some other ways to launch coin. I think this is pretty good. But that doesn't mean someone can't come up with a better system what we see now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys remember last time when Overwatch was running around paying everybody $500 on their YouTube channel, trying to get people to pressure Richard, to increase the price, basically to have Pulse launch at a higher price, to have a smaller supply and all that. And, whales do play games. And so... yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's really beneficial to be able to look at it and to, I think this launch being different, right? Because there was the 24 hours or 36 hours there where it was this unofficial launch. So you had like pre-entry or some weird term, right? I think that was meant to throw off the whales. And K4KCrypto is not here, so I can't.
I've got an interesting question for you guys because I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious what you all think about this. So, do you think it takes more economic pressure to push the price up or push the price down at the moment?
It depends on the liquidity, I think.
Yeah, but just like in your opinion, like because people's opinions.
Well, if you have to have US dollars,
would it be the same?
You have to have USD or
ETH
or whatever in order to pump up the price, and you have to, And then to sell HEX, you have to have HEX. So it depends what the ratio of buyers and sellers is.
It would be the same. It just depends on how much sell pressure or buy pressure you have resisting you on the way down or up.
Sure. But what I mean is like, what would... I shouldn't be talking about it here. I'll talk to you another time.
All right.
So the liquidity
theory
matters.
behind it. It's like, they could, anyway, I'll talk to you later.
But there are some things that we can't say live. For example, I did not explain to Overwatch last time how the OA came in at the, and fixed everything for the big payday, for the origin address. Like when HEX did its AA lobby, the OA was buying in buying up the cheap coins, and that's how the OA got 90 to 95% of the liquid supply.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's some things you really can't tell whales, otherwise maybe they wouldn't buy in. And then you let the OA sack. So after after
he's
Overwatch,
gonna
sorry, Matt. That wasn't towards you, Matty. Sorry.
After
It's the
Overwatch,
mic.
I'm just saying, if he hears your
And I
comment
called
there, he's gonna fucking hate you.
then I called it the 10 billion sack. Well, I called it a 10 billion sack would happen on Pulse for the OA, and everybody called me crazy on CoinGang. Everybody called me crazy for saying the OA would sack. And
Why would
sure
it
enough,
not
the OA
sack?
sacked 13 or 14 billion.
Yeah, why would the OA not sack? I think it's
How
proven
else
every
would it
time
have
now it's going
stake in
to.
Well, now
Yeah.
it will, but before nobody was saying it.
People are crazy.
So, yeah. So
does anyone have a rough
it's good to
value
understand
how
the
much
game theory.
how much liquid hex does just the single OA address have in hex right now? Like, does anyone know roughly?
Say that again. Sorry, I was reading the question.
Like the amount of hex in the OA wallet. I know it moved a load around, but just the OA wallet. How much hex is in that wallet or the PulseChain?
I can share my screen. I've got the
OA wallet,
numbers.
including the sister wallets, or
Here,
like you gotta define exactly.
Just the single address, the single address that would be likely to, that holds the most, I guess, or whatever.
It's probably like around 50%, give or take.
So this breaks down the circulating hex, and the OA staked hex, the OA liquid hex, the OA T shares. And so if we're talking about the OA liquid hex, it has 95.5% of the liquid supply.
I think this takes into account assumptions. I mean, obviously we can make a strong guess that like the sister wallets are the OA, but like I think this takes into account that those wallets are attached to the OA. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and ask Gunther.
And Gunter, the accountant, will hopefully present the criteria for these numbers at the HEX conference, to where we can hear that again in updated form.
Yep. Yeah, but I love his audit. It's so cool.
Yes. Genius.
It took hours, hundreds of hours, days. Yeah, days, just nonstop. Madman.
I thought we had one more question, but I couldn't find it. Oh, have you guys thought of if majority of liquidity is in the PulseX pair, and Pulse gets ratcheted up by PulseX buybacks? So then you get to like impermanent loss there, wouldn't you? If one side goes, am I thinking of his question right or no?
Yeah. So I don't think. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens between these pairs. But remember, the liquidity pairs, those are decided by the liquidity providers. And so I would expect a Pulse and PulseX pair to occur. And a lot of things are going to have a Pulse pair, just like a lot of things have an Ethereum pair now. And the AMM fixer ratio, the AMM ratio fixer bot is going to go through and replace the liquidity on all the sushi swaps and the Uniswaps and everything with PLS. And so that's what's going to possibly give parity to things off the start. And so, did you
misspeak on that, Maddie? I think not the LP providers aren't going to have the say. It's going to be the PulseX holders with the DAO.
But they decided they provide liquidity.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so
maybe
that decides the price. And to some extent, it's the whales or whoever is willing to leave the price, to create the liquidity. And sometimes the liquidity is low and sometimes it's high. And for a lot of these things, we want the liquidity to be low so that it can do 1000x. Just like HEX. And I think that's another reason why it's like, to bridge these two topics that we just talked about, the OA is able to act in the best interest of others, more so than an external whale who's got their own motives. And I think Overwatch should thank me for not disclosing that the OA would buy in, because that at the end of the day helps everybody, right? So if Overwatch or any other whale had not gotten in because they thought that they would be giving up too much control of their assets to the OA by being diluted, they're not the only whale. There's a whale that dwarfs you because it has 10 times as much as everybody else. But look at how that's performed for HEX. And so when you see Richard strike gold and have a stroke of genius when it comes to these different elements of a crypto, and you see him repeat that over and over again, that makes me very bullish.
So if you guys haven't figured it out too, like those last 3 days where you have the standard multiplier like a 1.75x, like that's when the OA gets in, right? Like that's when the OA can get in and essentially not affect anyone else's multiplier bonus. So expect the same thing at the end of this. That's when the OA is going to go in. You had a little bit of a better rate last time for some of the smaller guys, but price was pushed up to you, like I think it was a 2x over a 1.75x. Now with the elongated days, it's going to be like almost a 9x over your like 1.75x. So like I would not recommend, even if you have a smaller stack, sack now before that bonding curve starts, because that bonding curve will absolutely wreck everyone. Like you're going to need a 9x just to break even by the end of it. That's when the OA is going to come in right at the end, when it gets the standard multiplier and it doesn't affect anyone else's multiplier that they put their own money towards. So again, that's kind of like actually the entry point for the OA to get into the system.
And just to close that thread, I think that if you are contributing a small amount of money, you want the whale to be kept in check by diluting them through the OA. So the OA diluting the whale is beneficial to the small guy, and the OA diluting the small guy is good for the whale, because again, those are people who are going to potentially sell, and so the OA is really helpful in balancing the game theory of the whole tokenomics. Cabana Pump,
Agreed.
Good job. You rock.
Thanks. But take full credit. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Should.
No, I'm
You earned
kidding.
it, man.
Oh, full credit, huh? IRS, you heard that. He takes full credit. And he's got.
He's out.
Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't feel like coughing into the mic, but anyway. Where are we? Yeah, just a couple interesting notes before we wrap here. Some one-day stakes of 18 million and 17.9 million USD in HEX. So
Wow.
perhaps they are OA wallets or something. I just see it at HEX Whale Bot, but interesting strategy there for a one-day stake. It's just a little weird, but
Interesting.
anyway. Guess we'll tie up some loose ends here real quick. So we got Dave Levine scheduled, booked, confirmed. I know we've been trying to get it confirmed, so he's on Tuesday. Hoping Motley Investor will be able to be here. Also Wendy's. Dave's is a big ETH. I don't want to call him an ETH maxi, but he's he's big into Ethereum, and I guess compared to PulseChain, you could almost call him an ETH maxi. So we want to talk to him about his views on Ethereum. And
Ethereum's good, minus the gas.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a fun chat.
I agree.
So we'll have a impromptu happy hour Tuesday at 5, and then we'll have, I guess, Maddie's conference next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I guess anything else. Or we'll start with Maddie because you're right over here. Where can we find you? And obviously the conference is next week. Where else can we find you? Yeah.
allmylinks.com/allin. You can get your hex.com tickets to the hexconference.com, hexpo.online, and hexpo.vegas. So check it out.
Awesome. And Hexy Bastard, when you're not trolling Peter McCormick at a soccer match, where else can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube. Just type in Hexy Bastard. You'll find the Hexy Bastard show, and it's just like late night Hex and PulseChain shit. But I live in the UK, and I'm heavily involved with those lovely people over there. They're my new family. So yeah, we're just doing stuff. So actually, if you're wrapping up right now, you can catch me there in 5 minutes to celebrate New Year in the UK. So
there you
go to the
Sweet.
Hexy Bastard show on YouTube, and you can see me.
Otherwise, do you have a set night that you do that?
We used to do some, like, I've kind of been streaming like all the time lately, so I haven't really had like a set thing. But usually on a Sunday night, which for you guys in America will be the afternoon, I guess. But over here it's night. Sunday night, you'll catch us at some point.
All right. Well, you have
Hexy Bastard on Twitter as well if you want to follow me there. And like, whilst we're chilling,
you have a few minutes, so I don't want to keep you too long. X19,
Sure.
What is up, my friend? Thank you for being such a loyal watcher of the show for the past year. Love having you.
X19.
Motley
Happy
Investor. Last but
Yep.
not least, where can we find you?
Yep, Motley Investor everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. Go follow us at Legion BC News on Twitter. Also join our Telegram group at what is it? T.me or how do you do the Telegram links? I'm not T.me/Legion VC News. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. We got some exciting stuff going over there, and we're going to be able to start releasing some of the stuff on our projects and some other things we're looking to do for PulseChain, since we're finally starting to close in that window. Maybe the next month or two, we get mainnet launched. So exciting times, and I'll try to start streaming more right now. Like I really want to, but I'm back at my parents' house now, and they live in the sticks, and the internet is absolute garbage. I have like an upload speed that doesn't even hit 1 megabyte. So I have to figure out something streaming wise, because right now I'm like crippled. The only reason I can even stream on this is because I'm in Miami in a hotel right now. But I need to go like get Starlink from Elon or something.
That's right. I put in for the pre-order, so we'll
yeah. I actually after I hang up after this, I'll probably put in for the pre-order because like I need something.
Awesome. All right, Hexy. Well, you get to what you're gonna do. You have a few minutes to do so. Everybody wants to check it out. Head over and see Hexy, and we'll call it a show for this week. And see you next week.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Later, guys.
Thank you, guys.